I was with you. I wasn't some stranger. I was with you. Of course, we're going to feel things differently and see things differently in a dream, in real life. But I'm positive from experience. It was not that far removed from whatever it was, in detail, I guess, that you may have experienced. I've had too much experience with those things in my life, at times that I have no idea where they're even coming from. Where I finally understood, about 5 years ago, the reason I was having night terrors in 2007 and having dreams of things that I am not even familiar with it whatsoever was, as time went on, I started meeting people that seemed to, but I didn't remember exactly, have the same exact experiences that I had dreamed of in these terrible dreams that my doctors had said were very unusual, because I could wake up and tell myself, oh my God, it was just a dream. It was just a dream. That didn't mean anything. That my mind had registered those, nightmares and things like that as real experiences. So I can tell myself it was a dream for as long as I want, and they would eventually fade away over the day, but I would be shaking at work, having tremors in my hands. And that's when I thought to myself, good God, man, I didn't have some nightmare here. Granted, I don't have marks on my body, but those dreams are really deep, very, very real. I mean, people get so tired of hearing that. It was so realistic. But my characteristics and emotional imprint that's left on me is just as if I really went through the experience. That is exactly what the psychiatrist told me. They didn't treat me for being a nut or anything like that. It was stunning. They started treating me for what? PTSD. They didn't know from what. It showed up on the brainwave monitors that there was no difference between me standing here and talking to you right now and me having a dream of me talking to you on the phone right now. My mind registered both equally the same. And the dreams I was having were way more intense than my daytime job, because they all seem to be themed on very negative experiences that happened over 30, 40 years of many people. And they eventually just went away. And then I started understanding, that's really weird. How do, I can't imagine what you're going through or what you're talking. And then I started realizing that doesn't make any sense, though. I'm not going to tell anyone I know what you're going through. It's just ridiculous to think that I could ever go through an experience like that. But I wouldn't have been lying. Does that make sense? That's when I understood why that was happening to me. Don't really want to go back there. But I think on that level, we think that we start with this brand new, fresh, made out of the oven soul when we're born. And I don't know if you want to call it reincarnation or what you want to call it. I don't believe that's true. When you want to talk about experience and how you do something for a year, then you become a sophomore, and then a junior, and then it's very clear to me on one way, shape, or form. I can't explain it to you in any kind of scientific way. I probably could, and yet couldn't back it up to you in any kind of philosophical way. It's not just picking up radio waves of Christ consciousness, or it's not just, I'm picking up the vibes of, Liberace or something like that that's making me be this way. We see these visions, it's whoa, it's all of a sudden I see Hitler speaking, that's weird. Was I a soldier in another life or something like that? I think all that definitely exists in us. But do I think that we come in already vetted out energy? There's no doubt in my mind. And we know who the other people are that are the same way. Like we knew each other in another life. Just, whatever you want to call it, however you want to label it. When I was in Los Angeles in 2004, and I was working at a place called Eros, AEROS, which is just down the street from where I lived with Wendy in our condominium. I was doing commercials and working as a set designer and a set decorator, commercials and music videos. But even though I got $500 a day flat rate on those jobs, you didn't always have those jobs. And it came to a time where I had to get a job, but I didn't want to get a serious one. It was like a resume, because I still wanted to be available to just be able to go and do one of these jobs. So I didn't want anything I couldn't get rid of. And I worked there for about a year, and got paid just a minimum wage, but it was down the street from my house. I could go home for lunch. Didn't really have to take work that seriously, and I was bringing home a paycheck. So this summer day, it was in August or July or something, and it was really super hot. Man, I just remember being 115. It's been like that in the last few weeks. I heard down there. And I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and it's so hot. When in the winter you can't even smoke a cigarette because it's so cold. You're just God damn. I got to go back inside, and you put it out. It's the same with this heat, right? It's so hot. So I go to put my cigarette out, and we have this big parking lot, maybe 15 employees total. And we have a bunch of like expensive cars and boats and storage area in the yard over from us. But there's this very sharp razor wire that goes across the top of a giant wall separating our parking lot from this storage area. And our parking lot's really big, and there's some homes near that area. And we'd always have these cats that would basically, no one wanted us to feed these cats. Anatoly, who was it was a Russian company that got like, they came over here from Russia because of this guy's, he was a kid at the time, his lighter than air technology concepts, which basically came down to him being able to create the balloon portion of what you would call a blimp. But these were like, giant balloons in the sense of they would, carry transmission technology. They had to get, there was no mountains in Iraq at the time. So the Department of Defense would hire them to make some kind of balloon that can carry a big box with, transmission equipment so we can broadcast out around the, curvature of the earth, whatever you want to call it. And his kid had come up with this brilliant idea, and I guess they bought him out here from Russia. So his dad's like Russian mobster type, Anatoly. They're making tons of money. We're getting paid minimum wage. One of those deals, right? And they own this warehouse. And I'm out there smoking a cigarette, and I look up, and I see this cat. It's the mama cat that we've always seen in the parking lot. And it's caught up and wrapped up in like a really weird way in the goddamn razor wire. And it's got this look in its face. And its eyes looking at me. It had been up there I don't know how long. It was what appeared to be already dead, but it wasn't dead. And it looked at me, and it's something that to this day I've seen people die. I've been around when my brother died. I was around when my mom died. And I kid you not, just like the Jim Morrison story, when I made eye contact with that cat, for at least months after that incident, and even to this day, something weird happens to me, and I feel like there was some kind of osmosis or transmission of energy between the two of us. At least in the sense of some kind of impact of like, wow. And at the time, I snapped so into action that I basically jumped up on the wall, yelled at people who wouldn't help me at work because they were going to get fired. Gave me some bolt cutters. I start cutting this cat down, who's now fighting me, but cutting itself even worse. I can't believe it's not dead. It's so emaciated. The girl, Martina, comes out, who's working in the front office. She starts crying. I now have a crowd around me. No one will help me. No one would help me get the cat down. Let it die, someone said. I said, okay, your fucking mind? You're really going to play yourself out like that? You're just going to come out here and smoke a cigarette and watch the cat? Like, what is wrong with you people? Anatoly wasn't at work yet. And there's no doubt he would have been like, get the fuck back in, or you're fired. That's how it was at every job in LA. I've almost got this cat undone. I now have soaked in blood and sweat with screaming people around me, and not one person would help me. I think someone got me a glass of water for the cat. Anatoly pulls up in his goddamn BMW. Comes over, what the hell is going on here? What is everyone doing? I forgot what that guy's name was. Don's up there cutting the razor wire. Cutting the razor wire of the storage area. There's that cat from the parking lot stuck up there. And he turns to these guys and goes, what the fuck are you all doing? Standing here doing nothing! Help him now! They were like, what the fuck? Get up there and help him! I finally get the cat down. Martina, who's working in front, he gives her the BMW keys. Says, take the cat immediately, gives us a bunch of money to the vet. And we walk in the vet, which was maybe 5 minutes away. She's crying. I don't blame her. It was traumatic. And right when we hand the cat over to the vet, clearly we're shaking up the vets now who see this. They're like, oh my God, it had razor wires through its body. I don't know how that even happened. I don't mean cut sideways. Like, it was welded into the cat, like through one side, not the other. And it died right then. I was shook up, man. And it wasn't even until later where I realized that whole eye thing. And then to know the rest of that. I mean, we went back to work. And then Tony goes, you guys go home for the weekend. You're getting full pay. All you guys, you're staying here. And you got to work out the weekend. But when I made eye contact with that cat, to this day, it's just one of those things that stirs me up. It's really weird, man. It's really weird. It's one of those, I mean, you'd think I was talking about a human being and then some experience I just had or something like that. But it reminds me of that story Jim Morrison always tells about the Native Americans and being on that road. I heard that story initially in the 90s, but then I reheard it a couple years ago. I was like, man, it's like the cat sent me that. The cat sent me that.